having them for most of them 3 years. And even the ones who came later, like King Luck, it's been so amazing to have them in our class. A bunch of wonderful people will come up here and give their viewpoint on their last 3 years. All right. So Mateo, come on up.
Hello, Cypress students and family members. In 4th grade, we went to Calisby Park for the first time. Mr. John told us to come down the creek. I went with them, but after a bit with that, I started going down faster and faster until Quid caught up to me. So we started going down together. We kept on going until we heard people calling us to come back, but we could not even hear them. We thought they were telling us to slow down. Eventually, they caught up to us and told us we had to go back to school. It was already the end of the day. In 5th grade, we went on a field trip to an aquarium. It was one of the best field trips we had that year. We looked at the fish. I touched this thing that shows you how an eel shark feels like. It felt like, it went like, you only felt it in your arms. Some of us went there with me, were there, and they allowed us to touch them. So I stayed there for a bit, and then I went around and saw some sharks until we had to go back to school. In 6th grade, went to a Native American mining field trip. We went to Cara Alta Hacienda in Fruit Vale. We learned about plants and what they used them for, made bracelets and love charms. But when we started going back, there was a guy playing rock, paper, scissors with us. And when he had to go on the bar, he started dancing. And then we went back to school. Conclusion. Upper L was great. The best grade was probably 4th. We got to do a lot of field trips, and it was very fun. I hope the 5th graders have a good year in 6th grade next year.
Azriel's up next.
Azriel, go.
Hello, Cypress students and families. My name is Azriel, and I'll be talking about my experience with here tonight. Starting off with 1st grade, I met my teacher, Mrs. Miranda, in the CC. We only had for a small amount of time before we had a new teacher named Miss Simona. A lot of my experience through Lower Elementary was a blur, but I remember when COVID hit us and online school came through. Never really knew the period of time. And during 3rd grade, we were finally back in school, we went to a match. Moving on to my upper elementary years, the beginning of 4th grade, I was very nervous yet also excited since it was a weird transition for me from lower elementary. I knew to be fine since I would be with my friend Liliana, who I've known for all my elementary years. And the fact that we would have Miss Joe as my teacher, since it's my sister's teacher from her time in Cyprus. 4th grade year was a very fun year. We had a lot of outings during that year and a whole bunch of freedom. Maybe a little too much freedom. Anywho, I'd say overall, it was my best year in upper L. Besides the fact, I lost my house keys in the drain from a blacktop. Moving on to my 5th grade year, I was a little nervous since all my 6th grader friends had left me, so then I had to go through the school year without their advice and guidance. But over time, I managed to learn how to get through it myself, and it made the year a good year for me. I became best friends with Nora, but unfortunately she was a different classroom from me. But we made it work by seeing each other during work periods in the hallway. Obviously, Miss Anna and Miss Anastasia were when we would see me outside her classroom door. Now for my 6th grade year. I felt neutral about it and a little annoyed with the idea of having my younger peers to ask me for help and advice, but over time I finally used to it. And it's not so bad now. There have been ups and downs along the way, but I managed to make it work. I And one of my favorite memories from this year was me dressing up as my teacher and Mr. Joe for Teacher Appreciation Week. I followed it, and so did my friends and my teachers. The quote I decided to use from an author. The quote I decided to use is from an author named Ronald Dahl, who wrote the book Until Then. This quote is, somewhere inside all of us is a power to change the world. I'd like to thank Mr. Joel and Ms. Montessori for being my teachers in Cypress and being one of the best teachers I've had. And my family for showing up with full support. I appreciate my friends in the first Cypress classroom and Ms. Josie for being the best who I met. And I wish your 4th and 5th graders good luck with their turn to 6th graders. Thank you for listening to my
Juliana, go.
You know I forgot to type it out, so
The start of 4th grade was a bit nerve-wracking for me. I thought I would just learn some things and do my test right away to get it over with. I had tons of memories and moments, and I feel are very special to me. During these moments, I remember meeting tons of friends and getting along with a lot of times with people. But sometimes Cypress has their days where we have too much freedom or fun, and we have to continue that we have. Sometimes we have to use the freedom proper, and it will soon be taken away if it's not proper. But either way, I don't recall too much memories from 4th grade. 5th grade. 5th grade was my favorite time of the year, where I met Antonio, Mia, not you, Leopi, and Emma, and then pretty sure Oliver. Yeah, not you, because you were over there. And other tons of people. So my favorite memories were mainly Antonio, because Antonio would always eat Eliza's hair for some strange reason. She almost went in the bald spot. How? And we also went to the aquarium, which I really loved because we went to the beach afterwards, and then some of the people got boba, which sadly I was invited. And then I think in 5th grade is when I started the mountain project outside, and the 6th grade branch, which is over there on the outside too. So basically, I noticed very easily that during Cypress years, I had noticed that I got more advanced in tons of things. And my examples like projects, art, which is my favorite thing, and a lot of art techniques. And that's basically it. So in Adventure Time, which is when I used to go in lunchtime, it was, I think I did puzzles, but I also remember when Azriel dropped her keys in the sewage drain in the blacktop. And then I also remember that one time during the end of the year that I had sprayed her and Bentley with the hose outside because it was really hot. And then I think Mr. Joel also it was the time where you introduced me to puppets, right? And honestly, I really feel that it was so funny how Azriel always fell on a certain part of the river in Carlos B. Park.
It's true.
And on my first day, I was excited to be a 6th grader. I was counting on future projects and learning tons of things. I remember when I asked Azriel to help me with a piece of wood outside. It was very slippery, sadly, and she did warn me, but I didn't listen, and then I ended up being in the garden bed because I fell off the tree branch. Like, it was like when I was trying to cut it, and I asked her to stand on the other side, and I was trying to, like, hit, but I ended up, like, falling, sadly. Anyways, another time where me and Azriel were doing, I think, the Daily Mile, like there was only one time, and then with Sequoia too, and Allie had brought in blue paint, and it was so funny. We were like, we should definitely put blue paint. So we had helped her put blue paint on her hands and everywhere, and she ended up turning into a swimmer. And then the other time where me and Azriel were fighting with the book and with her notebook, and then she had flung it and it had accidentally ripped the cover of the book. So sorry, Azriel. Anyways, Azriel, she also got caught red-handed 2 times. The red bathroom incident, that was her the first time. The second time we're with me and Azriel during the red mountain paint incident. I think we stained the bathroom red. We did. No. This was very an exciting year, and so far I'm waiting for other excitement things. I hope to come here next year for like visits and stuff like that. And so thank you all for listening to my speech.
Thank you, everyone.
That's not really helps.
You guys are both equally right.
When I first came to this school, I did not know what to expect. See, I came from school where going to the bathroom the same amount of times as a certain someone in his class would give you no recess, and PE was about 3 times a week. So when I stepped in this class, I was surprised by how unterrible it was. This was a really good school with teachers that help acknowledge the existence of the younger living beings inside the class. Cameras and the class punishment. The first person I interacted with was a 4th grade brown-eyed blonde boy with steel blue sports shirt. Yes, I remember. We chatted for about 2 or 3 days. So we just forgot about each other. Forgot about each other's existence for about 6 months. Sunset, I talked to another 4th grader. He had blue eyes, brown hair, and a green Minecraft shirt and a gray hoodie. We interacted for about 6 months until during lunch, we threw my chocolate bar on the floor. Somewhere in the middle of the year, a couple kids from the spruce stuffed them with their jackets and toilets and destroyed them. Which around the time the chickens were being released, so the school was trying to make some money off of them and fix it, even though they have like at least 13 other things that need funding. For example, the janitor needs a raise, and they need time more construction with this playground. Anyway, school lunches seem to be getting worse and worse as the year went on. Also, they still need to fix their lunches. I've seen frozen milk, cold things that are supposed to be hot, and hot stuff that's supposed to be cold. Anyway, skipping ahead because I need to fit this into 2 minutes. RFOL was sweet victory, or almost sweet victory. Azriel threw the water at Carl's Park, and Ruben slammed August. So, Dots for Dots in 5th grade, hire more janitors, fix your lunch, and fix your playground. And when I came back to this school as a 6th grader, I saw the Kings and the Warlords. I also noticed that a lot of 6th graders left right as the year started. And when I'm supposed to be sharing my thoughts and feelings and not summarizing what happened, I feel like this school had not enough funds to fix anything, since I got pushed into parts of it. Starting with school food, it sucks. They changed the lunches to Revolution foods, and they worsened the quality of at least 4 times. They removed taco nadas, removed every single food, and changed them all to probably about 20 cents each. The teachers last year made the entire class 2 whole essays on chocolate milk, and because they said maybe they'll add it. Turns out they added it for 2 weeks. Big lie. Anyway, another story of bad food was around the end of the year. Quinn got a pear from the lunch tray and was about to eat it when he saw mold on the pear. They got the lunch trays, but they didn't really care. Also, I vividly remember seeing the good food looking good, but smelling worse than Lasset National Park. It was so bad that people would just skip lunch and eat apples like eating them. Anyway, next part, funding. This school really needs to fix their playground. If you look outside, they did a broken playground, did 5 broken swings, and broken stepping stools. Also, look outside, they need to hire more janitors instead of poop on the floor. It's not exaggeration, you go to the bathroom. Anyway, ending this because I did not finish this. I think 5th grade was way better than 6th grade. Mostly because the better food options and people. Also for final thoughts, get better food, fix your playground, and a higher more janitors. Also big shout out to Azriel for mowing the water twice. And also,
Azriel's getting a lot.
and also, stop reading my essay before I even write.
Her ratings are so specific.
So in my time in Cyprus, I've had countless good experiences. Whether it was a field trip or hanging out with my friends, I've had a lot of fun these 3 years. And so today I'm going to tell you about some of my favorites. 4th grade was probably like my least favorite year, but it was still a really good year. Since it was my first year in Upper L, I was a little nervous, but over time I began to feel that I really liked the class. I mean, I have my 2 friends, Eliza and Abigail. I think that my favorite moment from 4th grade was when I won the pie competition. I was really happy and also excited to get my movie day reward. Thing is, I never got my movie reward that year. Another thing I remember was the time I went to the Oakland Museum on a field trip. We were eating lunch at some picnic tables in front of a huge square of grass. Me and my friends were talking to each other when Abigail reached over to grab something. Her elbow hit her open juice bottle and it went toppling over the edge of the table right onto me. And it sucked. I was really upset at the time, but looking back on it now, like, it was hilarious. And I think if I had to rate 4th grade, I would rate it, and heads up, I do really exact ratings, 7.973. Yeah, and I think 5th grade was my favorite year of all for many reasons. First off, I had a lot more friends. I was still like friends with Eliza, not so much Abigail, but I also had my new friends, Liliana, Mia, Emma, Lily, and of course my old friend from it, Lower L, Antonio.
Hello.
Second off, recess was really fun. It would usually be me, Lily, Antonio, Mia, and the men we do not speak of, all chilling in front of the classroom on the bench, eating and talking. I specifically remember one day when Antonio was feeling especially greedy and literally pushed all the rest of us off the bench and laid down on it. Oh, and it was a small bench, in case you were wondering how he managed to pick up the whole thing. Because he is very short. The field trips were also good last year. Not the Legion of Honor though, that was a little too adult content for me with the statue. California Academy of Sciences though, that was cool. They had a really good gift shop. And one of the times I went to Carlos B, there was a swing attached to a tree, hanging over the creek. A bunch of people went on it, including me, and it was really fun, until somebody I forgot who like fell off the swing. And yeah, so all in all, 5th grade was really fun. I rated a solid 9.346 out of 10. 6th grade was just a pretty normal, chill year. While Eliza and Lily had left for the secondary campus, my other friends were still there. It was basically everybody from last year plus Andrew, Alexandra, Clara, and later in the year, Curtis. Like last year, my favorite part of the year was recess. The only differences were the people placed in the activity. Uno, no mercy. I remember one of the first times I was watching, there was a really long wave of plus cards, up to the point where Leo A got plus 34 cards and rage
We
quit.
don't talk about that.
We do.
No, we don't.
At another point, we counted how many cards you could get plus with Shinlock cards, and I think it was like 158 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, let's just say it can get very dramatic.
I think it's 40 cards in the break.
Whatever. And I think, I won pie again this year, and I got my movie reward, yay! I do kind of wish I had chosen a different movie, like Major Pain, or something, because that's hilarious. But hey, at least I got my reward. I also got to be librarian. It was a lot of work, but I got to label all the books, kind of like a real library, which makes it easier to sort, which is great. And the field trips this year are also some of my favorites. I mean, I think we can all agree the Exploratorium was pretty fun, especially the big old bubble thing. Yeah. Yeah, and the beach was pretty fun too. Yeah. So this year, I would rate 8.562 out of 10.
What? Why?
Because, like I said, 5th grade was still my favorite year. So yeah. And those are my years in San Francisco.
It should be, it's a 50-50 kid.
Hello. When I first came into 4th grade, I was worried I would embarrass myself, or the work would be too hard. But thankfully, only the first one was true. The work environment was fun, and we were free to do whatever work and project we wanted to do, and we had fun field trips to Carlsby Park, the museum, and the library. One of the best field trips I went on was to Carlsby Park, where I, for some reason, other than just because, took a heavy 5-foot-long part of a branch all the way to school and brought it home. In 5th grade, it was a little less fun and a little more strict and not as many field trips, which I didn't understand. And I broke my left arm from the impact of a soccer ball. 6 months after it healed, happened again, other arm. Same one. Love it. It was a swelling pain. 6th grade was very similar, except for some reason the tables and shelves were moving around more than the previous year, and the only stall in the upper L boys' bathroom wasn't open for 3 weeks because the stall kept on getting kicked in and unusable. Yeah. My full classroom.
That's cool. Did you say cool or cool?
Hello. I'm going to talk about 3 events of my 4th, 5th, and 6th grade year. So my 4th grade year, I wasn't at this school on my 5th grade year yet. So in 4th grade, I was at my other school, and Miss Rocha was my teacher. And we went on a field trip to, I think it was called, I forgot what it was called. It was like the park, the zoo. And then like we went over there, and then we got to explore cool animals, and then Miss Rocha gave us like a worksheet for extra credit. And so if we could find every single animal, then we could get extra credit, and it was really fun. But I lost mine on the way, so I couldn't get it. But anyway, and then we also went up on the high places to look at the. We went on this fun ferry wheel thing, but it went up to the mountains, and then we looked at other animals there. And the zoo was pretty fun, but it was a short field trip, as I remember. We got finished at like 3 o'clock, so we didn't get too much fun there. And then in my 5th grade year, we went to Mount Diablo. Mr. Silveros, my teacher, he was one of my favorites out of all of my elementary school because he just made learning fun for me, and so he was my favorite teacher. And he took me on Mount Diablo for my field trip on 5th grade, and it was really fun. I got to take pictures on like the side of the cliff. One day, sometimes like the fence wasn't working very well, and some of the people accidentally almost fell, but we caught them back because we were walking around a steep mountain. But that was the 5th grade year. We took pictures, and that was the fun experience. And the 6th grade year, I picked the Festival of Lights experience. I liked that one a lot. But our song wasn't written, and I didn't really like that song. It was not my favorite. And
keep in mind, there was a lot of classes that performed before us, and the song worked perfectly for every single one of them. But then when it was our turn, the computer just suddenly stopped working, and it didn't play our song for like 10 minutes. And we were stuck 20 minutes, and we were just stuck waiting there for a long time. Until it finally played, and it was only a short song, so like 4 minutes, and then we went back to our seats. But that experience was still pretty fun, because since it was my first and last and only time.
Alright, enjoy the food, enjoy the memory boards, all that mood boards.
We've been eating it.
And I think that there might be some outdoor time, but until then, just,
What time?
talk to each other.
Can I just say a big thank you to you, Joel, and to Anastasia for just putting together such a wonderful learning environment and being caring and attentive and very patient. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenn.